welcome back to Brick Gaming YGO. Today I'm bringing another deck profile. I know I've been gone for a while, been on a bit of hiatus, but I'm back. I'm bringing you guys a Mystic Mine deck that has some pretty insane things it can do. Really amazing deck. I'm getting third place, I believe a 20-person locals, something like that, 18 to 20-person locals, and I'm going to show you off this insane deck profile. It's super broken, and I'll go over why everything works in it. So, first off, triple Metion. Okay, so a lot of people didn't know what this card did. A lot of people have never seen this card before at the locals. And basically what this card does is when it attacks, at the end of the battle phase, it bounces all other cards, not all, all other monsters on the field back to the player's hands. And then for each one bounced, it inflicts 300 damage to your opponent. So this is really good at board clearing and really good at just getting rid of cards. It can be destroyed by battle card effects, taking no battle damage from battles involving it. It's just super broken and out so many things. Like against Salads, it's super good going second. Against Sky Striker, it's really good going second. And really just breaks board. Eldlich has a hard time with this card as well. And yeah, and then during the next standby phase, during my standby phase, it shuffles itself back in the deck, which allows me to set up for a Mystic Mine. So, just super amazing card. Next, this is something I might change, but right now it's still working out, and it's triple Inspector Borders. Okay, so for Inspector Borders, it basically does the same thing as Mystic Mine, just not as well. And against some decks, this is just GG right out the gate, especially against like decks that don't really use their extra deck as much, or kind of just don't really go into more than like a link or a fusion on their turn. Super good, though it's usually a card that I slide out almost every game because you don't want very many monsters in the deck, and usually Metion is the best monster to have. Next, for the spells, of course you play the triple Mystic Mine. Mystic Mine is a super fair and competitive card that really just balances out the format. There's a lot of sarcasm in that, but it's super good. Then I play one terraforming with it. I wish there was more terraformings in the game. Come on, man. Having 6 ways to get to Mystic Mine before you even get into the traps? Bruh, super fair. Okay, so for the rest of the spells, we of course play the most famous burn card going around right now, which is Cauldron of the Old Man. This card really puts your opponent on a clock. If they can't deal with it, if they can't get off the board, you're able to win in something like 10 or 12 turns. Sure, it's really long, he has stall for a while, but it can get you there if you have no better options or no easier way to OTK. Next, for kind of more like draw or searching card, you have Triple Prodigality. Pretty standard. 1 card demise, super broken when you see it. 1 Upstart Goblin, once again, super good card. You usually side this one out during games 2 and 3, in case you're running time. Usually your games are pretty long, so if you don't want to lose in time, you take out Upstart Goblin. Sure, you're playing burn if your opponent goes first and is able to set up the board and you draw into that and you don't have any burn cards. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? So, it's usually a good game 1 just to add extra consistency, but games 2 and 3, you just side it out. You don't need it no more. It's perfectly fine. Next, Into the Void, just more draw power. And then finally, for a bit of attack, Dimensional Fissure. Pretty much every deck right now plays with the graveyard and wants to be able to use the graveyard. So since you're able to get rid of your opponent's grave and their resources there, especially with Salads or Eldlich, Invoked, Shaddolls, any of that, it just really just outs their graveyard. Really amazing because you don't care about your graveyard. Anything that goes to your graveyard doesn't matter no more in the duel. Okay, now for the traps. We play a little bit of some old school stuff, but it kind of results in, if you get the right hand, OTK or FTK, and I'll kind of explain that in a bit. But we play triple Just Desserts. Really good card, but there's some issues, of course, if you're going against Sky Strikers or decks that don't really use more than, like 1 or 2 monsters at a time. It's pretty bad. But if you're playing some spam deck and that's their only way to really play the game, Just Desserts is amazing and really can just win you the game. Then Secret Blast. Okay, so a lot of people, when they go against Mystic Mine, they try to blow up your back row. They of course go for the Mystic Mine first, but then they start hitting your back row, and you're like, oh man, they're going to hit my Solemn Judgment, they're going to hit my super broken card. And that's why you play cards like Secret Blast. And this card, I was just able to get so many game wins with this card today, because they would target it, they'd be on low life points, they would target this with like Twin Twisters or something like that, and then they take the damage, the extra 1,000 from this, and it would just be GG. On top of that, we also play one copy of Ceasefire. Ceasefire's interesting. I would say that it's okay, but I'd probably cut it. I'm going to probably throw in field barriers, which was one of my mistakes today, not having field barriers in there, and this would be a perfect card to take out for that. Next, for the really sacky thing that this deck can do is the Ojama Trio plus Ojama Duo combo. And I'm going to mess around with this resources, put in more Ojama Duos, because I only got this combo twice today, where I could use Ojama Trio plus Ojama Duo and use up my opponent's all their zones. All their zones. They don't get to play the game. They don't get to play the game. And this is usually just an instant game over for about 99% of decks right now. Most decks don't have a way to get around this, and if you're able to bring your opponent down to low life points on before they even get play, this is just super broken, because then they have to pay more life points to get rid of these. So if you like open combo of Secret Blast, Just Desserts, and one of these two, or both of them, you're able to get your opponent down to super low life points, super fast, and then they can't really play the game because they're at such low life points that if they really do anything or get rid of any more of their tokens, they basically lose. And then if they can't get rid of more of their tokens, you've resolved a bunch of Just Desserts or Secret Blast, usually just an instant let's go game 2. And that's what is super amazing about this deck, is that you can really just push for game 2 early on before your opponent even really gets to play the game. Next, we play one Ring of Destruction. This is super amazing against Mekk Knight. It's really amazing against Sky Strikers if you have the right setup. And it's really amazing when your opponent tries to go into bigger boys and you're just able to get rid of their bigger boys as soon as they hit the field. And this, I know, this sounds like something out of 2007, 2006, but it just wins duels sometimes. And it doesn't matter if you're taking life points, you almost never lose life points with this deck unless you open really poorly. And if you open really poorly, well, it happens, but most of the time you're doing super amazing. You're able to get a bunch of cards to your hand, set 5, activate Mystic Mine on your opponent's turn, and then just sit there. Sit there for the rest of the duel and just slowly destroy them. Next, we play Triple Solemn Judgment, and the reason you're playing Triple Solemn Judgment is there's a lot of spell and trap cards you don't want to deal with. You don't want to deal with Twin Twisters, you don't want to deal with Cosmic Cyclone. That's one of the worst cards to deal with in this deck. And so when you're playing Triple Solemn Judgment, it really helps deal with that. This is another card I might cut, which is Double Solemn Strike. Sometimes when you don't open Mystic Mine, things can just go poorly, and I was kind of considering that, okay, if I don't open Mystic Mine, what do I do? If they make a bunch of monsters, and Solemn Strike was the first card I started thinking about, and it was okay. It was okay today. It came up a couple of times. Really, it could have been a lot better. I would probably preferred it to, I would have preferred field barriers or something else over it most of the time. Most of the time it was just getting sided out just because they were what am I going to do with it? If I open Mystic Mine, game 2 or game 3, I'm going first. What am I going to do? Have Solemn Strike in my back or not use it for the entire duel? So, yeah, it was okay in some situations, though. Next, Waking the Dragon. This kind of goes into the whole thing with Secret Blast. Your opponent, once they get rid of Mystic Mine or any of the other cards, they don't want to take more burn damage. They don't want to have to deal with Solemn Judgments, so they start trying to just blow up your back row. Just blind hitting your back row. And this is how you just win the duel if you can't get another Mystic Mine or something like that. Waking the Dragon just allows you to go into some pretty broken extra deck cards, and most people just will automatically scoop. Every single opponent I played against today, after they hit Waking the Dragon, they just scooped. It was GG. It was game over. What are they going to do after that? And then finally I play one Metaverse. And that's the 40 card main deck. And also Metaverse should be pretty obvious. That's 40 cards though. Want to be as consistent as possible. Then for extra deck we play 5 Trickstar tokens. That's pretty much it. No, I'm joking. We got Double Ultimate Falcon. This is the main card you would go into after getting hit by Waking the Dragons. This is the main card. 99% of the time this is what you want to see. Next we would have a Bilzius. Bilzius is just a super budget card. You can go and read it. It basically does nothing. It's just really big. Bigger than Raid Raptor. And it's okay. Basically that, but 99% of the time you're going to your Ultimate Falcon and just winning the duel. Next for side deck, we play double artifact scythe. Once again, people don't learn after game 1 not to blind hit your back row, and that came up so much against multiple different decks. Next, we play one Necro Rally. It's okay. I'm going to definitely put it up because after kind of playing this format a little bit, I realized how a lot of people are playing Eldlich and Shaddolls and decks that mess with the graveyard, and it's like, okay. And also invoked. It just shuts down invoked. So it's super amazing in all of those respects, and I will definitely be boosting that up to a higher copy number. Next, I play triple Swords of Concealing Light, and this is just the most sackiest card in some matchups. If you're running second and your opponent doesn't play like a really large link engine, or is playing a deck that doesn't really utilize links that much, or just goes into their main deck a lot, this card just, oh my gosh, it just shuts down your opponent. There's not very much your opponent can do to play around it. Plus, if they do play around it, it's usually baiting out a negate. You bait out the negate, and then you just go straight into Mystic Mine. And if they don't have any negates, you activate this, go Mystic Mine, burn your opponent, and you have it basically guaranteed for 2 turns where they can't play and can't do anything. So that's always fun. Next, we play 3 copies of Dark Roar No More. This card did not come up today. I was expecting more Adamancipators or more decks that, just end on a bunch of negates that this might help against, but really didn't see any of those decks today, so won't be needing that card, at least for maybe future events. I'm still thinking about maybe cutting it or leaving it in. I just didn't really see a lot of new meta outside of Eldlich, so who knows. If I'm going to need it. Next is a secret tech, and every single one of my opponents did not know what this card did. And that is 3 copies of Curse of Darkness. And if anyone knows what this card does, basically each time a spell is activated immediately after it resolves, the player activates it, takes 1,000 damage. And after you go first, if you're going first and you open this card, you play all your spells. And generally after first turn, you're not playing very many spells, or really any spells, to your side of the field. So when you're doing that and not playing cards from your hand, your opponent still has to play all their spells, all their combo stuff to try to out your board. Curse of Darkness can easily put your opponent down to 4,000 or 3,000 life points on their first turn, and if they summon a bunch of monsters or just make a couple of incorrect plays, it's just a GG, instant GG. And that's just what makes Curse of Darkness such a good card. It's just broken in that respect. And then finally, final playset of cards will be, there can only be one. Sometimes it's okay, sometimes it's really bad. I used it exactly twice, and it was okay both times. It helped, but it wasn't like the game-ending card. It wasn't like, oh no, my opponent can't play. Plus, it's almost like at one point, it kind of felt like people kind of cared less about this card and cared more about Mystic Mine. I can kind of see that for obvious reasons. So I'm still kind of iffy about this card, but it came in. It just didn't do as much as I wanted to do. That's my deck profile. That is my Mystic Mine. And for my matchups, just in case you're wondering, my first round was against Salamangreat. I performed the Ojama Duo Ojama Trio combo on them, and they pretty much scooped. And then from there, in game 2, I just Matai on them a bunch, and they really just couldn't play. My round 2 was against Mekk Knight, just like, I think it was pure Mekk Knights. The game wasn't very long in the respect of getting really deep into the deck. It was mostly just me, game 1, just destroying them, and then game 2, it was a little bit more back and forth, but once I got into my Swords of Concealing Light, it was basically GG because they weren't really able to play after that. Then my round 3 was against Salamangreats again, and that time they managed to hit my Waking the Dragon on multiple occasions, which was fun for me. Very, very fun. I enjoy having Waking the Dragon resolve. They also managed to hit Artifact Scythe, so yeah, that was a really fun game for me. And then round 4 was my only loss, and I lost to Eldlich. And the reason I lost was I saw 0 Mystic Mines that game. I just got really unfortunate draws. But sometimes that happens in this deck, since this deck is kind of that type of deck where you get those unfortunate draws every once in a while. And it was pretty good overall, minus that final game. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video.